Howdy, folks. Thanks for tuning in again. Hope y'all doing okay. This is take 2 for today. I got not even a mile down the road and realized I left something at the house that I can't work without, so I had to turn around and go back after it. So, election night 2020, election day 2020, election night and day again. So, I think the only thing that we know right now in broad terms, like I know that there's states that have flipped back and forth a couple times. I'm hearing rumors that Arizona might not be as firm for Biden as they think it is. I'm hearing that Biden has flipped Michigan where it's leaning Biden a little bit, but they're not done with the count by any means. Trump's probably going to get Pennsylvania, which is apparently a shock to a lot of people. Trump did get Florida, so Florida man memes hold true yet again. I think the takeaway from this, no matter what, is that whoever's elected president is not going to receive the ringing endorsement of their entire policy platform that they're hoping for. It's my takeaway. Could be wrong. But because according to rough math that I was doing, and I know that there's still several states in play, tractor, so to speak, but according to my rough math, we could end up with literally a 268, 270 election. So that's not, this massive pro-Trump or pro-Biden endorsement one way or another. I do think that there's a good possibility that Republicans hold the Senate. It looks like, as of right now, Democrats will hold the House. There's several things that I don't understand about why things were done the way they were done. Okay, there were talks about, alternative voting methods. September, October-ish. The thing that I don't understand is why mail-in balloting is being allowed to be counted so late, regardless of, in some states, whether or not it even has a postmark. So I can understand, waiting 2, maybe 3 days in certain states to wait for ballots to come in that are postmarked on November 3rd, blah, blah, blah. But I want to say it's Pennsylvania. They're allowing 8 days and postmark doesn't matter. I find that really odd. Another thing that is interesting to me, I want to say it's Wisconsin. They have discovered more ballots cast and tallied at this point, and I don't think they're done yet, than there are registered voters in the state. Which is, I don't know. Okay, I'm not going to make any claims about who's trying to steal the election, which party's casting the fraudulent vote, but it does make you think that there's fraud going on somewhere. I don't know if that shakes out better for Trump or Biden if they did a full revote in Wisconsin. If everybody that voted got to vote once instead of, multiple ballots. I don't know if that shakes out better for Trump or Biden. I know that due to, I guess the way train track, sorry folks. I guess the way I'd choose to word it would be political exhaustion. If they did have a full rerun in Wisconsin in order to weed out fraudulent ones, that there would be a probability of a lower voter turnout on one side of the coin. But then again, on the other side, they know where, call it 40, 45 states are at this point. So would they want to show up in even greater numbers? People that, I don't like either one, so it doesn't matter. But literally, you might have one state picking the president. So the most contentious and possibly contested election in our time, folks. One thing that I do think looks probable is that you'll end up having split governance, where you'll have very likely a Biden presidency, but Republican-held Senate and potentially House. Potentially. That I don't know. I know there's still a lot of votes out there that are, or a lot of House races out there that are looking red, but the tallies aren't in various districts, so that's, that could go a lot of ways. I know that California, there's a ton of red areas in California, and it's looking like they're going to be putting up several Republican representatives, but who knows if they'll swing back, go one way, go another. I don't know. Let me put this, there's more, according to the Google, which I think is using the AP for its sourcing, but according to Google, there's more Republican leaning districts than there are Democratic leaning districts that are uncalled. So we'll see. That's the one of the interesting things I've always found about elections, or one of the things I've always found interesting about elections, rather, is all these people that are into, whatever method they use to come by the presidential nominee and various other races and whatnot, who's basically trying to figure out who's going to win beforehand. There's no way you're going to get it with 100% certainty, and I gotta admit, I do find it somewhat entertaining when they say so-and-so's going to win and they don't. Because no one knows what the voters are going to do. I mean, you talk to me, and I was planning on voting Trump, but I ended up filling in for Joe Jorgensen, so no one knows what's going to happen. But the thing I wanted to talk about today, I guess if I could have one ultimate political wish, it would be that third-party candidates, seriously, and I don't care if it's libertarian, green, constitutional, there's a ton of other party candidates out there that aren't Democrat or Republican, but some sort of moderate, liberty-based, constitutional right, smaller government party got basically started doing all their 2024 work right now, massive fundraising, getting out the message for 2024 now. That way, by the time the 2023 primary season rolls around, you've got an informed citizenry about what the third party stands for, what their plan would be, what they would do if put in power, what they would even do if put in power, but they held, say, just the White House, and House and Senate were doing their, Republican or Democrat held. What would you do then? Because that's something that a lot of people never talk about. is, okay, sure, if I'm president, I'll do this, that, and the other, but you can have a totally uncooperative House and Senate. So what do you do then? Well, anyway, but I would love to see a libertarian constitutionalist on the stage during primary, at least during general election debates. Because, okay, there are a handful, more than that, but, you know, I'll throw out a handful of them. There's a handful of tired old tropes that get used against Democrats and Republicans. Democrats and Republicans both use they're going to take your health care. You know, whether it's repealing the Obamacare Act or doing away with private insurance. You know, they both use that one, and it's a lazy attack, and they've got a lazy defense. They've got lazy attacks and defenses on guns. They've got lazy attacks and defenses on the economy, on taxes, whatever. The thing is, both parties have been trying to do the same thing for, call it 15, 20 years. And you've got both parties using the exact same lines of attack and defense on those issues. If you had a third-party candidate that has a completely different perspective on a given topic than what you're used to seeing, you cannot be as lazy intellectually. As an example, Jo Jorgensen, her stance on the Second Amendment, I don't know if this is just meme exaggeration or whatnot, but if you could afford a functioning M1 Abrams, you can put one in your driveway, provided you can pass the background check. So Republicans would have to justify whatever gun control policies they've got to that perspective. You know, basically, hey, look, if you're not a felon or a violent criminal or whatnot, you can own whatever weapon you want so long as you do not use it to harm others and only use it for self-defense or target practice. Okay? And I don't want to get into that right now, but there's an argument for that. You know, Jo Jorgensen wants to get the government out of healthcare and let markets solve the problem. And I listened to one of her speeches for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, the whole thing, however long it ran. And the least regulated areas of healthcare currently, or the least regulated area, is LASIK surgery. And it's the one area in healthcare where prices have dropped drastically because insurance won't cover it, so they've got to get competitive. So if you could go to a hospital, you know, on a, you know, hey, I would like my knee replaced, what's it going to cost? Oh, well, we have to, you know, get prior approval through your insurance and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, you don't know what you're going to end up paying for your knee replacement until after medical coding submits it for billing. Whatever the insurance company kicks back is your responsibility. If you got the government out of the medical care sector as much as feasible, you know, still regulating medications and whatnot, you would have hospitals not only competing with quality of care, but on pricing on various procedures in order to get, not only have, you know, a high success rate, a quick recovery time, and, you know, all the things that you look for in medical metrics, but you'd also have people looking at price. Right now, that doesn't happen. And if you don't believe me, call a hospital, say, I want an x-ray. How much does that cost? I just think that there's an argument to be made that a third-party candidate could attack Democrats and Republicans in ways that they are not prepared for, and would expose the weaknesses of some of their current policies and ideologies and their wish lists, and it would make them either come up with better ideas, have to use new lines of defense in order to defend their ideas and policies. So I would love to see third-party candidates get a seat at the big kids table. If I could pick one political wish, that would be it. That in 2024, third-party candidates start getting seats at big kids tables. That's it. That is it. And get them permanently. Because I'd love to see a third-party candidate have a well-rounded argument that takes down Republican and Democrat talking points. I think it'd be delicious to watch. So, anyway, my political wish for the year. I also hope that no matter who wins, nobody goes crazy and burns stuff and loots and riots and tears down more businesses, because a lot of the ones that have been torn down aren't coming back. So, y'all stay safe. Thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. That's all I got. Thanks for tuning in for another Cruise of Smooth.